$6. That's what you pay for a cup of coffee. You walk in, you order, you tap your card. $6 gone. Now here's the part nobody thinks about. The beans inside that cup, they cost less than a penny. Not $1, not 10 cents, less than 1 cent. So either coffee shops are running the greatest markup scheme in history, or you're not actually paying for coffee. And once you understand what you're really paying for, you won't look at prices the same way again. Most people believe price equals ingredients. If something is cheap to make, it should be cheap to buy. Sounds fair. Sounds logical. It's completely wrong. If pricing worked that way, your phone would cost $30, your sneakers $20, a luxury handbag maybe $50. But they don't. Because modern pricing isn't about ingredients, it's about systems. And coffee is one of the cleanest examples of that. Let's start at the beginning. Coffee doesn't grow in the city where you drink it. It grows near the equator: Brazil, Colombia, Ethiopia, Vietnam. Farmers harvest coffee cherries, often by hand. They process them, wash them, ferment them, dry them in the sun, sort them for quality. Already there's labor involved. Already there's cost. Then the beans are packed into large sacks, transported by truck to ports, loaded into shipping containers, placed onto cargo ships, shipped across oceans for weeks, unloaded at destination ports, inspected, stored in warehouses, transported again to roasting facilities, roasted in industrial machines, cooled, blended, packaged, distributed, delivered to your local cafe. Every step adds cost, not because the bean is expensive, but because movement is expensive. Fuel costs money, shipping costs money, insurance costs money, port fees costs money, warehousing costs money, customs handling costs money. When oil prices rise, transportation costs rise. When global trade slows down, container prices spike. That tiny coffee bean travels thousands of miles, and distance is never free. The bean might cost less than a penny, but the global machine that moves it costs billions to operate. You're not paying for the bean, you're paying for the machine. Now let's zoom in locally. Imagine opening a coffee shop in a busy downtown area. You find a great location, high foot traffic, nice interior, large windows, comfortable seating. Now check the rent. In many cities, prime commercial rent can easily reach $15,000 to $25,000 per month before selling a single cup. Then add staff wages, baristas, shift managers, cleaners, add payroll taxes, insurance, utilities, electricity, water, internet, maintenance, accounting, software systems, equipment leases for espresso machines that cost tens of thousands of dollars. By the end of the month, fixed costs can easily reach $50,000 per month, before profit, just operating. Now let's do simple math. If the cafe sells 12,000 cups per month, about 400 per day, and fixed costs are $48,000, that's $4 per cup just to break even. No profit, no expansion, just survival. That chair you're sitting in, it's not decoration, it's divided rent. That air conditioning, divided electricity. That free Wi-Fi, divided infrastructure. Suddenly $6 doesn't sound outrageous, it sounds necessary. But there's another layer, and this one is psychological. You don't just buy caffeine. If caffeine were the goal, you could drink instant coffee at home for pennies, or buy the cheapest option at a gas station, but you don't. You buy atmosphere, you buy consistency, you buy convenience, you buy the feeling of productivity, you buy a place to work, you buy a place to meet someone, you buy reliability. Branding costs money, interior design costs money, music licensing costs money, cup design costs money, logo development costs money, marketing costs money, social media costs money, photography costs money, promotions cost money. And branding increases perceived value. Perceived value increases willingness to pay. Two identical cups of coffee can taste different depending on the environment, not chemically, psychologically. Perception shapes experience. Experience shapes price tolerance. Here's a simple example. Water is almost free, but bottled water at an airport costs $5. Same water, different environment, different system. Coffee follows the same rule. You're not paying for beans, you're paying for a controlled experience. There's also risk. Many cafes fail.
Hospitality has a high failure rate. Businesses must price products not only to cover costs, but to survive slow months, seasonal drops, unexpected repairs, rising supplier costs. Margins aren't always greed, often they're protection. Then there's scale. Large coffee chains negotiate bulk supply contracts. They optimize distribution. They centralize marketing. They build brand recognition over decades. That requires massive investment. Real estate portfolios, technology systems, training programs, corporate teams. You're not paying for a drink. You're paying for access to a system built over years. Now zoom out even further. Raw materials rarely determine retail price. Systems do. The most profitable companies in the world don't sell commodities. They sell convenience. They sell speed. They sell reliability. They sell trust. Remove the layers and the price drops. Add layers and the value increases. Out of your $6 coffee, only a tiny fraction is raw beans. The rest is logistics, rent, labor, utilities, marketing, operations, risk management, and a small margin left at the end. The $6 price tag is not $6 a profit, it's $6 of layered cost structure. So the next time you ask, why is this so expensive? Try asking instead, what layers am I paying for? Logistics layer, infrastructure layer, labor layer, brand layer, experience layer. Once you start seeing layers, you start understanding business. Wealth is rarely built by selling ingredients, it's built by controlling systems. So why does your coffee cost $6? Because it traveled across the world, because it's roasted with precision, because it's sold in expensive real estate, because employees are paid, because branding creates trust, because systems require maintenance. The bean is cheap, the ecosystem is not, and once you understand ecosystems, you understand pricing. Next time you buy coffee, don't just see a drink, see supply chains, see rent contracts, see payroll, see marketing budgets, see infrastructure. That $6 cup, it's not about coffee, it's about economics in action. If this changed how you think about money, subscribe, and tell me, what's something you think is overpriced that might actually be priced exactly where it should be?